According to the UN Environment Program, fashion is the second biggest consumer of water. It also produces about 10% of global carbon emissions. But there's one homegrown brand that's taking the lead in sustainable fashion. Here we feature companies that have sustainable initiatives. Welcome to Sustainability. Our guest tonight believes that fashion can be transformed through circular design, community partnerships, and a commitment to zero waste. She's helping turn that vision into reality. And joining us tonight is the co-CEO and Chief Creative Officer of Bayo, Anna Lagon. Welcome to The Big Story, Anna, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
What led you to embrace sustainability? I'm sure that was not your objective when you took over the brand Bayo in 2015?
2014.
2014.
Yes, it actually started with a question from my child. So, right, it's not a business decision at first. So that question was made to me while one of my children were just playing around their production facility. And randomly, she asked, what happens to all the textile waste lying around the production area? And I said, oh, well, we clean them up, and then the garbage collector would take them away. But she wasn't satisfied.
How old was she?
Around 12.
Oh, wow.
So that was more than 10 years ago. So the next question was, okay, so what happens after the garbage collector picks them up, right? So at that point, I realized, you know, I was caught off guard, and I literally froze about the question, and I just realized that, hey, this child of mine is putting me in this position where I felt like I'm not a responsible mom first, because I'm a mother first before I'm a business owner. And then, you know, that made me commit. So it's a personal commitment.
Amazing.
To eventually respond properly as a more responsible business owner and a more responsible mom.
Kasi nga naman, when we throw things, we forget.
Yeah.
We don't care.
We don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it will come back to haunt us.
Out of sight, out of mind kasi.
In terms of flood, basura in the sea.
We don't really care.
Yeah. One of you brought some things here
Yes.
and tell us how, you know, they're sustainable for you.
Okay, so we've done a lot of things. First, of course, to manage the waste. And we have gone this far, so we're able to upcycle. These are from company uniforms. We're able to turn them into fibers again, back to fibers, and to threads. So this one.
It becomes that.
This, and then it becomes fabric.
Wow.
Honestly, that fabric is really beautiful.
looks-
Like,
it
it looks like boucle or like
Yeah.
tweedy, kind of like what you're wearing
Yes,
now. Tess.
similar to what you're
Yeah,
wearing.
it's the same effect. It's very
And not
fancy.
only that, the threads actually serve our communities because Bayo is in partnership in-house with our foundation.
Okay.
So we work a lot with different communities. We teach them how to weave. But we can't do this alone. We're partnering with different organizations, particularly for this one. This is TexRev in partnership with the PTRI, Philippine Textile Research Institute, who has been our constant go-to place because textile is part of our business. So
This is one government agency that's very proactive. no?
proactive, but of course, you don't wait for them, right? You also try to pitch your problem and
then
partner
they-
with them because they are scientists, right? So you partner with them and show them your idea, and eventually the solution comes in.
This used to be tela. I mean,
Yes,
an actual.
it's a company uniform,
Okay.
and then we have the machine to
to shred.
to disintegrate it, separate it
Is
from.
it a very expensive or special kind of machine?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
This looks like
yes.
also what comes out of your lint remover, di
Because
ba?
the normal thing is parang you upcycle by just getting the material. This is a novel way of doing it.
Yes,
Pwede
we've
pala
been
yun.
doing upcycling, like using some parts Like what I'm wearing
What
now.
you're wearing
yeah.
is a partnership with the AFP.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we
Show
have
us. Ayan.
some parts of the military uniform on my pants, and we can also make accessories out of them.
Oh yeah, it's camo.
Like this one,
Fatigues.
like you can wear it.
Ang cute.
Ang cute.
Oo nga, bagay.
Super
Bagay rin sa'yo.
Bagay rin sa
Pawis.
pawis.
Green.
Yeah, so we make use of our waste in response to my
Daughter.
child's, my daughter's question. So now I have a lot of answers to that. And this is the most meaningful process that we have because we work with different artisans. So we train zero-knowledge weavers, and we create this process of
That's so
incorporating
pretty.
the scraps in the weaves.
These are scraps, made from scraps.
Scraps of the weave.
Ito ang scrap eh.
Scrap
Diba?
from the
Ito.
uniform.
From the uniform
Yeah.
din.
So part of the upcycling, because we need a lot of ways to upcycle and recycle so that literally zero waste for everything. And we're able to close the loop by trapping all the carbon sources from materials. So this is
A brick?
a recycled board made out
Okay.
of textile waste and also residual plastic waste. So these are the bubble wraps, the plastic labo, the very thin
Yeah.
plastics.
I believe
So-
you're waiting for the patent approval.
Yes,
for
we
this,
have the
right?
patent pending for that.
So
Yeah,
this can
so
be used for construction. For
we're using that. You can find that in some of our stores. Yes, we have that in MOA. We also have that in Greenbelt. A lot of our stores are using that already.
Do you convert the waste, the plastic and textile waste in-house, or do you also
In-house.
partner? Oh, this is
In-house,
So
yes.
yung more than textiles na, building na to.
We've gone beyond fashion, but I think it's really more of the circular economy, the business model, going the route of our blueprint, which we call the Journey to Zero initiative. So that is our way forward on how we do all of these things. We have a blueprint. We have we call it actually our North Star. So we have that target.
Parang target.
Yes.
So what have you achieved so far?
Oh,
How
we have
much?
time? Do we have time? Okay.
I like
Okay,
that.
in terms of waste, how much have you reduced from before, I guess, 100%? Ilan na lang?
Well, we started 70, 30, 10. Now we're doing zero waste if we're able to invest on the materials, on the equipment for the bigger industrial scale.
Okay.
We
In
can.
terms of carbon emissions, how much na lang?
It's not how much na lang, but
Or-
it's really more on, we're doing carbon offsetting right now.
Okay.
We're the only Filipino fashion brand doing that. In fact, in the whole of the Philippines, no one is doing carbon offsetting.
Why is that, Anna?
I think there's
Mahal
the
ba?
financial side also and the willingness. Because for sure, a lot of other brands can pay for it, but it's the willingness to also have that
It's
responsibility.
tedious ba?
Well, you have to submit like,
Your-
like the list of your materials because they have to go through the transparency report. And it's not done in-house, right? We have a service provider to make sure that the reports are generated by a third party.
Okay. So that's where my next question was going to be. How did you find this third party? And mahal ba to have this third party like check you and because their
Yeah, yeah.
labels really have this
Parang siyang
claims.
certification.
Yes,
Yeah, oo.
parang
May picture yan, may
yeah.
logo.
Yes. So
Well, I'm part of the UN Global Compact. So it's United Nations. So I am in the board of trustees for the local network. And part of that is my exposure to different personalities in the space of sustainability. And I was so blessed to meet this professor from LaSalle. Well, he referred me and, he heard about the things that I shared. And he messaged that, maybe you can make use of this company. So I checked them out, introduced myself and the vision behind the
this
company.
is an
and that's it.
international company,
They
walang
are,
local.
no.
It's an
they are,
international certifying body of sorts, parang
yes, they
ISO,
are.
ganyan.
No, but
Ish.
they have the VERA certification. It's what you need to be able to really show the transparency and collect
saan
all
to?
of those carbon offsetting. They are based in Netherlands.
Okay. Mahal
Yeah.
nga. Hindi naman sa dahig.
But you know, I'm also what I like about your story is that you get a lot of communities and a lot of women making the thread, you know, from the not even retazo, from the fibers. How many women's lives have you changed?
I don't have the exact data because it's, you know, it's moving, the numbers are moving. It's growing actually, but we have 3 areas where we operate our hubs. We call them Harvest Creative Community Hub. So Harvest is an acronym. Be ready, it's quite long. So it's heritage and artisanship reimagined as a vehicle for economic growth, sustainability, and technology. So this is the space where we create opportunities and pathways for women, especially women, because they are at the heart of what we do. Well, we are a fashion brand catering to women, and I believe it also in the power of how women can really have that impact in creating these very meaningful ways to support their families and their communities.
Anna, tell us how we can be more sustainable in our daily lives, particularly in clothing.
Fashion.
Yeah, in fashion. Anong advice mo sa
Well,
amin?
to be honest, the most sustainable is to look at your closet. There is all you need.
I know.
This is not the usual from a fashion company, right?
You're telling us not to buy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not to
be more
buy,
mindful.
but be more mindful, intentional, and I think, you know, try to look at the brands that you're buying from. If you are supporting brands that, you know, I don't want to be self-serving, but generally, you look at the brands who also mind how they take care of the people and the planet.
Yeah.
It sounds so cliche, but it's
Yeah.
true.
True.
Yeah, and how they also try to see that prosperity is shared, not just in their own pockets, but among the communities that, you know, that they work around. So to me, that's very important.
Okay, so time to
Thank
check
you
our
so
closets.
very much. You're such an inspiration. We've run out of time, Anna. Thank you so much for coming to the show and
Thank
sharing
you
the
so
story.
much for this opportunity
of-
and sharing our story. Yes.
Yes, we barely scratched
Yeah.
the surface. Thank you so much for joining us, Anna Lagon, co-CEO and Chief Creative Officer of Bayo.